Hi guys, welcome back to the Outer Worlds. Today we're gonna start exploring Monarch. So probably we should go... Oh, okay, Stellar Bay. I think we need to go to some kind of bar or some similar establishment. But first let's check if we have some items here. Apparently not, so let's go. No, let's check this. Okay, there's no options to select. Okay. Grim.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in.
Okay.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
Whatever, I'm not here for chit-chat. You seem surprised. Well, that is my ship on the landing pad, right next to you.
I knew it. See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
What are they doing out there?
You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-world traffic. Us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna and halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Okay. Me, I'm Alex Hawthorne.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
Is Stellar Bay really that isolated?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are Sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
Oh. You're not what I expected to find on Monarch. That's
that'll
true.
Just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Okay, so... Are you saying that board's been lying about this place?
Oh, sure. They make Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell.
Ah, the nostalgic stench of home. Can't say I miss the day-to-day of living in Edgewater.
Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though.
Okay. I'm gonna have a look around town.
Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor?
That depends. What is it?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next Sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
Sure. This poster sounds pretty valuable.
I couldn't really say, I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around by more than a few people by now.
Okay, who's the Black Hole?
That's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest tossball hackers ever. Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You been living in a sulfur pit or something?
Okay. But why is he called the Black Hole?
On account of him being the best hacker who ever played, nothing gets by him. He sucks up every ball that comes his way.
Okay. Maybe we're that different. Okay. That's all I ever need to hear on that subject.
Whatever you say, I could talk tossball for hours.
Okay. Sure, I can ask about your poster.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. The Grim Tomorrow. Okay. Hello? These guys don't really look friendly.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's
Oh, and
properly
this
logged.
is the
I'll
Sanjar.
note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
Okay, what was that exchange about? You're having money trouble?
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
Do you normally blow your money on Raptidon parts?
Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really.
Okay. Why are you buying so much from Sebastian?
So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else. Sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
Maybe I can talk to him for you.
Would you? I'd appreciate that so much. Maybe don't tell him I wanted you to ask. Just that you met this really nice lady named Celia, and she seemed... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Okay, wait, I'm curious. What do you see in Sebastian?
He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises. Good to have standards, I guess. I know what I'm looking for.
You really want to be with someone you can talk to?
You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
Okay, but I
Have you
didn't
talked to
ask
Sebastian
her.
yet? What did he say?
Not yet. Wait. Grim asked me to check with you about his tossball poster.
You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grim wore her patience thin a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah. So now we could either talk to Sebastian or proceed with this quest for Grim. Also, we could talk to this Sanjar, sir.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
Okay, that's very generous of you. No, you have a meeting with me. Okay.
Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself?
I'm just looking for the information broker.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
Hey, it could always be both. Afraid not. If I have to eat one more weird science project passed off as a food in this Pratt-fucked colony, I'm going to stab someone. Just tell me how to find the broker so I can get out of here.
Now,
Okay.
there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
What exactly are you hoping to accomplish? If you're free of the other corporations, why would you want to bring them back? Sounds like a personal problem. I've got other concerns. Actually, what? Okay.
Thanks to the
let's-
so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
And you're tired of scrounging and scraping by. Is that it? Sounds like you're freer than anyone else in Halcyon. Why not embrace it?
Exactly what I would have said if I'd been paying attention.
You talk like Graham.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan. But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it starts to lose its shine.
Exactly. Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged from practicality.
What?
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very words from my brain.
Okay, so what do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Ingenious plan? Don't get me wrong, I'm starting to admire your sand, but I bet you could overcomplicate a sisty sandwich.
What a charmingly roguish turn of phrase. Allow me to express my thanks at your confidence and assure you that my plan is indeed sufficiently complicated.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
This lady knows what's going on. Enough preamble. What's the plan?
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Fine, but how do you mean to do that? How long did it take you to figure out that you need to defend your city?
Not long, but the devil is always in the details. And the
Okay.
salient detail here is a Bolt 52 cartridge. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
This Bolt 52 sounds useful. What is it? Where do you find one?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite the rush.
Intelligence. Oh, I have enough of this. Ordnance. Ordnance or ordnance.
An ordinance, of course. We do things in a civilized fashion here, not like Graham's iconoclasts.
Of course he wants to fight bureaucracy with paperwork. I should have known.
Can a legal document really be that important? So where do you find this ordinance? Once you have the Bolt 52, what's the other part of your plan?
I'll need to gather some supplemental materials, but I mustn't get ahead of myself.
You do tend to do that.
The Bolt 52 will be in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. And these days, it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Perception. Why are you saying it that way?
Saying what? Which way?
Arms. You're saying arms instead of arms.
That's just what it's called. It's supposed to stand for something, but I forget what.
I'm sure I'll know it when I find it.
Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Perhaps. For a right price. Well, before I go, I need to ask you about something.
What can I do for you?
I have questions about MSI and the good old days. I met Grim, the landing pad guard.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
He did a bang-up job. The guy's a world-class moron.
Well,
Oh,
that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
okay. I have questions about MSI and the good old days.
Then it's
yes.
good that I keep such meticulous notes.
How did MSI get kicked off the board in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Do you mean that you initiated your own removal from the board?
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1.
What happened to the other corporations?
As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
Okay, that seems wise. But not MSI, right?
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to.
And how did that work out?
Most regard Monarch as a lost cause. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
How forward thinking of you. Reforms are for quitters, Sanchar. Okay.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
Okay. I take it that your leadership did not embrace your ideas, using the board's own tools against them. Then, clever. Who's this us and we you keep talking about?
Oh, well, there were surely other junior executives with more open minds, though none of them had the temperament to handle the paperwork.
Perception. Who are we talking about? You're being KJ. How do you read this word? I actually am not sure that I've ever seen this word before. Okay. Actually, we could look it up. Because usually, quite often when I decide to look something up later, I often forget about it. So it's... Oh, it's not KJ. Okay, it's KG. Not willing to say everything that you know about something. Oh, like his being not entirely hesitant to disclose information anyway. Something like that, I guess. Okay, so let's do this.
But I was keeping my tone flat and maintaining eye contact. You weren't supposed to notice I was avoiding the subject.
This is why you've never been good with presentations, sir.
Very well. Many, many years ago, Graham Bryant and I used to be collaborators of sorts.
So he helped you make your case to the senior executives. Who? Oh, someone has mentioned this Graham Bryan just in the beginning of this episode. Probably it was that lady.
Graham
Who?
Bryant. He leads a
Oh, it's
group of
Graham.
extremists out in Amber Heights. But he used to be as much a part of the corporate machinery as any of us. Much as he likes to forget it.
Okay.
Indeed, for all the good it did. MSI's then leadership wasn't enthusiastic. They insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
Okay, yet here you are.
Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI.
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get stuck with that.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve this position. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
Okay, that's low, even for them. But why would they do that? You should have known you couldn't oppose them.
I don't
Okay.
know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Why exactly do you want to back on the board?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Without the board, chaos would overtake the system. Working within the established order isn't a principle to snub one's nose at, Captain.
If you can't
Okay.
beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
They've treated you pretty roughly. Is it worth going back to that? I can't fault you for your practicality. Seems to me anything's better than the corporate yoke. Okay, let's go with the first one.
I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Leverage?
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
Okay, what's the hazard clause
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
A necessary evil for the greater good of society.
That's exactly how the board describes it.
And they've invoked it on Monarch.
Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way.
So you used to work with Graham. Why not mention that earlier? Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, the less said about Graham, the better. Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. And we both agreed that MSI's treatment of its workers was untenable. I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't realize you wanted to abolish the corporate system entirely.
Okay, I want to talk about something
What
else.
can I do for you?
Okay, I've gotta go. So we can do a lot of stuff here now. But probably it would be reasonable to finish with this one. So let's speak with Velma at the warehouse. Celia sent you to Velma Ballard, manager of the Stars Bay warehouse. She receives all of Sublight's incoming shipments. Okay, so that's where we're gonna go now. Okay. How do I get there? Can I jump over? No. Okay. Okay.
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
She's always cranky.
Okay. Hello, ma'am.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry.
Lie. Catherine said she'd shove you in a box if you keep running your yap like that. What are you talking about? Take it easy, I'm just looking around.
Sorry. Seems I got my cables crossed. Thought you were another shakedown tough from Fallbrook. Hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing.
Your chief what?
Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they
Oh.
don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess.
Okay. He'll come back eventually. You can't constrain a person's freedom. Don't you have rules about that sort of thing?
We're not keen on rules for rules' sake around here. Means Braxton skips work sometimes, but it also means no company boss is telling me when I can take a shit. Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra jugs he's been taking from supply. Something else on your mind?
Okay. I'm here to ask about Grimm's poster. Yes.
This again? I swear, this is the last time I contract for any special requests. You can tell Grimm his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer for it. So now it's going to Nell. That about cover it?
Who's Nell?
She runs the betting parlor across the way. Nice professional lady. She asked me about the poster once. Just once. Made a real generous offer, too.
She does sound easier to deal with.
I don't have time for Grimm, even when I'm not working doubles.
You still have the poster, right?
It's staying locked up in my office until Nell shows with her money.
You're just giving Grimm's poster away? Didn't he pay for it?
No. I paid Sublight for it. So, it's mine. And when Nell pays me for it, it'll be hers. Grim may have asked for the poster, but it's not his until I take his money.
Surely we can work something out.
Sure can. If you want to pay me more than Nell's offering.
Persuade. Too low. Work with me. I'm helping you find Braxton, aren't I? Bribe. Take 1,000 bits for the time Grimm's wasted. He'll pay for the poster. Okay.
Damn right he will. Hopefully that'll be the last I see of him for a while. Take the poster then. And if I never hear another word about it, it'll be too soon.
Okay, so what's this about your foreman?
Caleb Herrick runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials. He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I pay them more.
I can talk to Caleb for you.
You mind slapping him around a little while you're at it?
Sure.
I'm joking. Mostly. Unless you can do it without hurting his job performance. If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Check the yacht club. He's usually there.
Okay. Let's talk about Caleb.
Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say.
Okay, so wait, why can't you give him his pay increase? They're hard workers, aren't they? Don't they deserve some compensation for that?
Hard workers? They turn dials and flip switches. The machines do all the actual work. Caleb and his crew have it better than anyone else around here, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
I don't have the bits for it, plain and simple. Besides, if I make an exception for him, I gotta do the same for everyone.
She's principled, in at least this area. I will begrudgingly give her that.
Thank you. I think. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate.
Okay. Sunjar's gonna notice your shortfalls before long. And he'll hold you responsible.
Maybe so, but I bet you Caleb runs out of bits first. Then he'll have to come back. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all talk, but if the money's real, I bet you he keeps it at home. Near the diner.
Are you willing to meet Caleb halfway?
For running me ragged while he takes an extended leave at the bar? Not on your life.
Okay, let's talk
Fine
about
by me.
something else. You said Braxton had been stealing drugs?
Stealing's such a nasty word. Let's call it skimming. And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the sterile biotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton's shifts.
Awfully nice of you not to say anything.
We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get this all tuna, fat and mostly tumor-free.
Okay. Who's this Catherine you mentioned when I first came in here?
Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a Ground 6 Spacer.
Okay, that's enough. So we have a lot of quests now. Okay, so let's just deliver the Tossball poster to Grim first. I guess after that we'll be able to choose what to do next. Okay.
Have you had
Hi.
time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's come in.
Sure do. Sure did. You know, you really are a little too persistent about this. Give him the poster. Here it is.
Would you look at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink on Mr. Holcomb's signature. I can't thank you enough. Still, you can have the bits I was going to spend at the bar this week. And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker too. Never get the chance to use it these days.
Okay. That's good. We did a good deed, and we got a level up. Great. So we're gonna go with sneak. Yes. Yes. A few more levels, and I'll be able to choose something else. Okay. Yes. Accept. Well, now what? Now we have... Well, no, that's not what I'm gonna do now. Okay. You know what? We could do this, actually. Oh. Okay. What's this? Toss ball blocker. Do I really need that? Let me check. Wait, no. Ellie. She has officer's spine. And it seems to be better. What about him? Well, I'm not sure. I don't feel that I really need money in this game. Honestly, like, except for some occasional quests. Like, there are so many items and I'm just breaking them down. Okay, let's do this. And let's go check this Braxton guy. Mr. Braxton, I'm on my way to your apartment.
Help!
What?
Someone's been killed!
Was it Braxton?
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Are you alright?
No! I just stepped in a dead man's blood. And I think one of the flies landed on my mouth. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. That's where the body is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go contemplate a hot shower.
Are you sure you're not the one who did that?
The body's in the first apartment on the right.
Okay.
Blood.
Resident. Okay.
What a gruesome way to die.
Not much I can do for this guy.
Okay. Wait, is it? I think it's where we need to be for the quest. But anyway, let's take this. Okay. No name. Okay. Probably his on the second floor. If it was not him in that room.
Whatever you do, don't mention Tossball to Isaac.
Okay.
You know what?
Who are you?
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh?
I'm looking for Braxton. Have you seen him?
Braxton. I've never even heard of a Braxton. Got nothing for you, sorry.
Dilated pupils, anxious posture, muscle spasms. She's high on some quality stuff.
No! Okay, maybe, just a little. Braxton always has a good stash, and I just like to let loose a little. Stop thinking about the marauders and the raptidons outside, you know?
So, you do know Braxton. Where is he now?
Oh, damn. He told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick, and he had some meds on hand. So, maybe look for him there?
That's all I need.
We're in agreement that this Braxton is probably dead, right?
Yeah, could be. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. To Nandi. Sorry to bother you about this, but something foul is leaking from the apartment upstairs. I don't know what Celia's keeping up there, but she works for you, right? Do you think you could talk to her about it? Oh, that's those parts she's been buying from that Sebastian guy. Rose. Okay, can you please try to keep your windows shut? I've tried to explain. Leaving them open, especially when you've got food out, invites mantis swarms, and a mantis swarm infection is everyone's problem. Oh wait. How do you read this? Hecht. Braxton, I know you keep odd hours. I know because I've heard you coming and going at all times of the day, night, haha. But maybe you could try to close your door a little more quietly. I have rather sensitive nerves, and every time I hear your door, I think we're in the middle of another Amber Heights. Okay, so we can take his vodka. Just for the heck of it. So anyway, wait, what? Wait, I can't talk to him, but I do this. I can do this. How is it possible? Okay, wait a minute. Let's save the game first. How does it work? Oh. You know what? No. That's too much. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, let's respect his privacy. Well, honestly, I didn't notice him when I first came into this room. Okay, so we have some stuff here. Yes. That wasn't enough. Okay, I guess that's... Wait. No, that's time to part with this weapon. Yes. Yes. Okay. So let's go. Oh, it's...
Please,
What?
will someone help me? My boy's in trouble.
What's wrong, dear lady?
Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a Raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
It's more dissolving than melting.
That is not helpful.
Your child is missing? Where'd you last see him?
Oh, I just knew you were a good person. Agnes, I said, this is the man to save your little Tucky. And I was right. He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the Raptidons, Mantisaurs, and Marauders, the toxic sulfur pools, and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen. Please, won't you go and find my boy?
Okay. Did you say there was a reward involved in this request? Why would Tucker run away?
He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A Raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have listened to his mama. I promised
too
I'd
much.
keep him safe here with me.
That's too much of an overprotectiveness. I'll help,
Thank you.
okay.
Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Okay. Yeah. Probably he's not gonna wanna go back. I wouldn't. While affected by status effect. Okay. Picking up items that belong to other people is a crime and affects reputations, so be careful what you grab in town. Missed a tutorial or want a refresher? Tutorials can be read or reread in your journal. Okay, Stellar Bay Ruins. South. Wow, that's just magnificent. Really. I wish there would be less mountains so I could see the whole picture. Okay, that's great. That's actually great.
Reminds me of the crew cabin on one of my first ships.
The trick is not to breathe through your nose.
Okay.
We're doing this.
Okay. Oh god, that's a big one. Wait. Okay, okay, that's a big one. Oh no. No. Oh god. Okay. Somehow I managed. Oh wait, what? Found a flaw in you? Flaw tutorial. During your adventures, things may happen to your character that can trigger a flaw offer. Taking the flaw is optional, but doing so provides you with a perk. Oh, the choice is yours. Okay. Raptophobia. Repeated encounters with raptidons have lessened your effectiveness when they're attacking you or your companions. Effects: phobic dexterity -1, perception -1, temperament. How do you read that? Actually, I'm not sure. Wait a second. That's an easy word, but the pronunciation. Okay. Temperament. Temperament. Okay. That's what I thought, probably. Do I really want this? One perk. So is this gonna affect me only when these raptidons attack me, or it's gonna be permanent minus dexterity? You know what? Probably no. I'm not really sure, but I don't really like that. And it's not that I really need some perk right now, or like I'm in some desperate need for them, because I'm still just choosing them randomly. Okay, anyway, let's proceed. Okay. So what? Secret people. Yes. Okay. Probably I should switch to this weapon, because those big guys are really tough. Wow. Let me see. Hopefully I won't fall down. Wow, that's great. Well, probably it's far, far from the best looking games, but I still like what they did with the overall look. Yeah. Looks pretty amazing. To me, at least. Okay. Okay, I hear you. Okay. Okay, okay, that's a lot of... Okay. Good. You know what would be nice? To find some strong healing items, just in case. Do I really want to transition right in. Let me see. Nothing here. Oh, I don't really want to get indoors. Probably I should just finish this episode right here, because it's almost an hour and I think that should be enough for today. Oh wait, that's interesting. Okay, I hear sounds. Not very welcoming sounds, I must say. Oh yeah, that's what I need. Yes. Taking this. Oh wait. Oh. Okay. And here we go. Okay, 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 okay.
Try that again.
Well, good. So, probably, yeah. Let's go back to the door and save the game. Okay. Yes. So if anyone watches this video, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.